Hi, Scott Sullivan here. A lot of you know me as Sully. Dubb has doubled my business in the last year. You are about to go on a journey with Russ Johns. Welcome to I Love Dubb.
Well, the best thing about Dubb is the fact that I can make so many personal contacts with it, and it's so on point.
Hey, it's Russ with Love My Dubb, and I am like the number one fan of Dubb, and I've been able to capture a bit of attention from the founders, Ruben and Darius. I wanted to bring them onto the screen and talk a little bit about the magic and the amazing solutions that Dubb has brought to my life and can also be delivered to your life. So I want to bring in Ruben. Hopefully we got a few minutes here to talk with Ruben. Good day. How you doing?
Hey, Russ, what's going on? So great to be here. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And Darius, also, you guys are magic. I love you guys. And I just wanted to make sure that we have an opportunity to have a conversation really quickly and a couple of minutes to talk about Dubb, one of my favorite tools. And I think that you probably have an affinity for it as well. Would that be accurate? Okay.
You could say that.
Get some enthusiasm here.
You know what? We drink our own Kool-Aid. We use Dubb for our entire business. We use it for managing contacts, for outbound emails, outbound SMS, everything, video creation, sharing, collaboration. We built it first and foremost for us in mind, but of course we're constantly listening with these big Dumbo ears for our over 60,000 users now and constantly trying to evolve the platform. So Russ, thank you so much for bringing us so much intel, so much information, and so much passion for this, because we share that passion with you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's my number one platform and solution for engagement, sales, follow-up, introductions. I use it for everything. I use it every day, and I love helping more people help more people. And video is such a powerful tool that I know, Ruben, we've had several conversations about this and the availability and the usefulness of injecting video in your day-to-day activities. And I'm sure that you've seen a trend up in video, haven't you?
It's unbelievable what's happened. It just makes sense. It allows us to clone ourselves. We can record a video of ourselves. We can put it out there. It could be a social video. It could be a private, direct, one-to-one message. It could be an email broadcast in a campaign. And imagine what happens when one or multiple people see us. They can hear us. They can feel our essence. They can trust us. They can build a connection with us. And then as a result, we can do business with one another. So it's just amazing how human it is, but also how scalable it is. And a lot of the times, you don't get one of those it's a tilted scale. With more humanity, you get less scalability. With more scalability, you get less humanity. In this case, you get both, and that's a key component here. You get humanity and you get scalability. So let's talk more about this.
Yeah. And I'm creating this series on Dubb. I'm a huge fan, and I want to share this with the community and expand the opportunity for others to learn about Dubb. So one of the things that I want to do is I'm going to be going through this series of lessons and just some concepts and ideas and talk about how we can actually introduce Dubb to our own business. And one of the things I want to make sure that we do is we talk about how you can actually onboard, how you can actually implement, and how you can actually receive assistance and support from the Dubb community. Because you have some amazing people. And also, Darius, I think you do a weekly session, don't you? Or you do live sessions on a regular basis.
Live training every weekday at 10 a.m. where I'm able to connect with members of our community and really get granular with support. when they need to troubleshoot, when they need to talk strategy. There's a community here where I'm able to connect with our audience, and it's so invaluable because that's where we get our feature requests. That's where we're, like I said, boots to the ground, talking to our users. And that's how we've been from day one. And Ruben said, that's how we've built the platform. I love those training sessions, and I can't wait to see people there every day, every weekday at 10 a.m. Pacific.
And I've attended many, received a lot of valuable information. And as a trainer, I love teaching people with Dubb. And if I don't have an answer, I always go to Darius. So there's no shortage of opportunity to learn something new and get the support you need in the Dubb community. And I think it's really important for us to understand that it's a step-by-step process. You don't have to eat the whole elephant all at once. You don't have to eat the whole cake in one setting. You can actually start at a very introduction level and actually grow from that. And I think that's important to understand, that even in the smallest step in the sales process, I think is key. And Ruben, you've talked about this so many times that I love the idea of you maybe explaining a little bit about how you actually envisioned this and got this started and put this in place for us to enjoy and appreciate.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the question. First, I'll start with a comparison, which I think is really relevant here. When I'm not working, one of the things that I enjoy doing, like you, Russ, is playing music. I play the guitar, I play the drums, I play the bass, and I use software to record, like Logic. This is a software platform that's owned by Apple, and it's GarageBand times 100. And it's very powerful. So if I were to present the metaphor of, if I want to go create a song, get it published, and put it on Songcake or YouTube or iTunes or Spotify, I have to go through the motions. I have to record a track, I have to do the vocals, I have to write the lyrics, I have to get it all arranged and produced and masters, and then finally, once I've done 100,000 iterations of it, finally I can upload it, and then I've got a song. What's interesting about using video, and specifically using Dubb, is that it's not like that. What the difference is that if you start recording videos for your prospects, think of the top 5 people that you want to get in touch with. Maybe to get on their podcast, maybe to invite them to your podcast, maybe to do business with them, to have them be a client, to get a referral. Whatever it is that those top 5 people can do for you, and vice versa, you could do for them, I want you to think about how you could just simply record a video. Grab the Dubb mobile app, grab the Dubb Chrome extension, grab the Dubb desktop app, even the website, record a video directly to the webcam, directly to that camera in your hand, and just communicate, speak your mind, and say how you can provide value, say how you can build a connection, say you can create something that's mutually beneficial, and send that to them, just as a one-to-one video. You can send it on email or SMS or LinkedIn, even a messenger app. Send that to them with a call to action, maybe your calendar booking link in it, and watch what happens. It's you using software within 10 minutes, sending this out to a top 5, let's call it prospect, making a connection, and then hopefully doing business with them. That's powerful, and it all happens in minutes. This is not like you need to go and learn music theory or song production to do this. It can happen immediately.
I love that. And I've told this story many times about when I first learned that I could put a video in a LinkedIn message and respond. Yeah. Not that it's the best practice. However, the fact that I can do it and the things that I can do with Dubb, it's just unlocked my brain, and I've just continued to run with it from here on out. I want to talk a little bit about strategy with Dubb. And Darius, I want us to have a brief conversation about the strategy in using Dubb, because I love what you just said, Ruben. I love the idea that we can actually take a piece of software and utilize a few moments in time and create something magic that people respond to. Yeah. And you guys have seen my open rates and my click-through rates on my Dubb account, and it's pretty staggering. It's 95%. And so when you can achieve those kinds of goals, it's less about numbers and more about connections. And I think we're moving into a world where that's going to be more prevalent and more prominent. So what are some other strategies that you've seen trending in the Dubb community, Darius? Maybe you can share a couple about best practices and maybe a growth strategy that you can actually talk about?
The number one use case for video is actually making new connections. So the vast majority of our clients come to us with this concept of, hey, I'm writing these emails, I'm making these calls, and I'm not getting the response that I want. I'm not getting responded to at the rate that I need to grow my business. Yeah. And so that's the problem they come to with us. And this idea of adding video to that first touch point is usually the number one place I recommend starting. So we all have leads in our business, right? We come in through online sources or referrals or advertisements or wherever these leads are coming from. And then the best thing we can do is convert those leads into appointments, into clients at the highest rate possible. So that's really the first approach for video, is that lead follow-up concept. Because first, it's something you do every single day, multiple times a day. And that's, people, like you said yourself, end up using it every single day, because at the end of the day, when you compare a plain text message to a video message for this purpose of building trust, building that know, like, trust factor, video will almost always outperform text message. Every time we've measured it, every time we've done an actual measurement, it's outperformed. Yeah, that's really the first place I always recommend starting. And just like the rest of the sales process, you have your prospecting, you have your nurturing, you have your closing, and then you have your flywheel effect, your referral, your review, collecting that testimonial. And so I always recommend starting at the beginning chronologically, and then there's actually opportunities to inject video throughout the rest of the sales and even marketing process. This is one step at a time thing, right? Walk before you can run. But wherever you're looking to implement improvements in your business, you can immediately take action with video. So whether it's nurturing, whether it's prospecting, collecting reviews, any part of that sales process can immediately be enhanced with video in very short time.
And Ruben, I want to ask you about your engagement strategies. What is one engagement that you found that really has triggered not only a response, but is very easy to use and removes the friction from the process? Because I think that's really important for people to understand, is sometimes they get fearful of how to use video. What do I look like? How do I handle this? And you've made it look so easy, and I've watched you improve so much over the last couple of years that I want to get your take on what strategies have really worked well for you.
Yeah. Okay. So let's break it down. I'll come up with an acronym on the fly because I've been wanting to do that. R is for research. I is for information. V is for value. And A is for authenticity. So the acronym that I just created was RIVA, R-I-V. Okay. So let's get into this. Why research, in my opinion, is one of the most important things to do when you're in sales, when you're in marketing, when you're in business development. If you have the goal to connect with another human being, if you're not doing your research, you're being remiss, because you're not understanding what the other person's doing, what the other person's goal is, what their organization's goal is. What is it that you can do and say so that you can connect with them, so that you can help them accomplish their goals? Research is going to be the most critical part of this. It's amazing how many people in sales forget to go look at the person's LinkedIn profile, their last post. What was it about? Updates on their website, their press release section, any type of social posts that have happened on their Twitter account, their Facebook, Instagram. That's where the most current, relevant information about their life. And guess what? It's not just about business. It's also about their personal life. Maybe they just bought their first guitar. Maybe they tried stand-up paddleboarding in the lake near their home. Whatever the case may be, if you start to research, you're opening connections. The second is information, which is becoming intelligent about what should happen, what could happen if there's this mutually beneficial relationship. Acquire that information. A lot of that comes from research. A lot of that comes from skill, training. The next one, which is V, providing value. How can we provide value to other people? That's how you get engagement, Russ, and you know that because that's exactly what you do. Providing value says, I understand what your goal is, I understand what your organization's goal is, and here's how a way that I can either remove friction or add some sort of a lubrication or a fuel on the fire. How can I make it better? So that's value. And then the last one, A, is authenticity. So authenticity is what drives engagement. One of the first things that I mentioned to you in this video is that I'm reorganizing my office. I have a stand-up desk that's getting installed. So I'm actually deskless right now. So little do you realize, and the people watching this video, is that this laptop is being propped up on a trash can on a table. And that is my authentic moment of being just transparent about what's going on in my life. And then the second thing that I'll share very quickly about being authentic is the fact that there's this very strange fire that you're probably not going to be able to see out of my window, which is making me a little bit nervous. So that's my authentic moment. RIVA, okay? Research, information, value, and authenticity. Hopefully they take care of that fire up there.
Yeah, I hope they take care of that fire,
Yeah.
Ruben. And thank you so much for sharing that, because this is exactly the kind of communications and engagement that I love and enjoy and appreciate.
Yeah.
That about Dubb. I love that about you and Darius and all of the value that you've brought to the table. So I just want to make sure that we're thinking in those terms about, it's not about, if you're using their ego, that's the numbers. If you're serving with your soul, that's the business. That's where it's really going to bring the value, is serving with solutions, providing solutions to problems that people have. And I think that's so important. I want to thank you for bringing here, and also in another context, I want to shift gears now and talk about the installation. And I want to talk a little bit about how that works with the implementation of Dubb desktop, mobile versus the the Chrome extension. If I could talk.
Absolutely. No, I got you. I'll break it down.
Darius, break it down for us.
Right on, brother. So Russ is talking about what we've done is provided the ability to make recording videos as easy as possible. And so what that actually looks like is integrations inside of your most popular places you send emails from. So right inside of Gmail, right inside of Outlook, inside of LinkedIn, there's going to be these little Dubb buttons built into the interface where you can actually record right from there. And there's also a desktop app. There's a Chrome extension. And so there's a different purpose for each of these tools that you might find. There's a mobile app. So now, like for real estate agents or anyone out in the field or anyone that just prefers to use their phone, that's the solution for them. That's the application for them. If you find that you are always in front of your desktop, always inside of your Gmail or Outlook or Salesforce or HubSpot or LinkedIn, then that might be the tool for you, just recording using the integration. There's also a Chrome extension and a desktop app. Those two are probably the most mixed up, I would say, because they serve the same purpose. Both are screen recorders. So there's a desktop app that allows you to record your screen outside of your browser. So it's like a desktop app you install and it can record anything on your screen. Then there's the Chrome extension, which is a Chrome-based recorder, and it can only record stuff happening inside of your browser. So that's really the main difference. If you're the type of person that lives inside of your Chrome browser, the extension is for you. If you need to record things like PDFs or a PowerPoint presentation on your desktop, you would want to use the desktop app.
Perfect. I love that explanation, and thank you so much for sharing that, because the other thing that I want to think about is the idea that if you're using mobile and you're out and about, it's great to be able to provide that interface that allows you to actually use your phone, use what you have where you are. And I think, Ruben, you say that all the time, use what you have where you are. And just like your trash can desktop right now, improvise, go with the flow, make sure that it works. And hey, we can do this regardless.
And I'm back.
And I'm back.
Now you know why I had to disclose that in case that happened. Now I can laugh it off.
I know my whole desk didn't just tip over.
So let's talk a little bit about video creation, because I think it's really important let's move on to the landing pages, Darius, because I know you have a time constraint. So I want to make sure that you have an opportunity to talk a little bit about page basics and layout, how to think through these ideas when you're starting to create a page layout and a landing page, and maybe a call to action and develop and design. So maybe you could share a few things about that.
So a lot of people, when they hear landing page or they hear like a website, they're like, oh man, I'm not a developer. I don't know how to build stuff like that. And so it's actually far more basic than that. The way that we've built the system is it's like a plug and play, right? You're inserting your logo to go there. Then you're going to choose a background or a color scheme that you like, where there's a color selector built in, image selector built in. You can upload your own. So all of the sort of design elements are just a simple click or an upload from your desktop. And then the call to action, the structure of the page is based on one thing. It's to get people to take the action. The whole concept of Dubb is to use video messages to drive the actions to help grow your business. So when we're designing a landing page, that sounds more complex than it is. Really, it's just when we're creating a video, we decide what is the action we want the person to take at the end of it. So with that process to start it, that's where the end goal is going to end up being. So if your goal is to get a booking in your calendar, then that's the number one CTA that should be on your page, is going to be the direct integration to book a time right below your video. With that in mind, though, what would supplement that? What if someone's not ready to book? What would help convince someone to maybe be ready to book? Usually things like social proof, testimonials, case studies, learn more information, read this PDF, this one pager, visit our website. Whatever that information you have, you're able to also incorporate that on this same page at the same time. So that way they have choose their own option, whether they're ready to book immediately because your message was compelling, or they need a little bit more something to help warm them up. And that's your opportunity to leverage your best performing assets, like your case studies that you've worked hard on, or testimonials that you're going to use Dubb to collect. We'll talk about that. But the idea is you're able to leverage all those assets on that page. And that's the goal, is to put your best performing assets, like a case study or a review or a testimonial from a client, or just you telling a story about how you were able to help somebody. That's an asset, right? Yeah. So having those assets on the page, whether they're a button that says download this thing, visit this website to look at this review, that is the structure of the page, is your ultimate goal, whether it's a phone call, calendar, downloading your attachment, and then the other elements that might help convince someone to take that action, like reviews or learn more options. So that's the standard layout of a page. You're going to upload your couple branding elements, logo, background, choose a color, and then attach your best performing assets for the goal you're trying to accomplish.
Ruben, do you have a go-to call to action that you use in your videos when you send them out?
Yeah, I do. And the philosophy really comes down to, if someone is watching a video of me, so I'll take a step back. So people used to ask us in the beginning of why we decided to build Dubb. And the origin story of Dubb, I think you asked this earlier, so I'll just take a brief moment here to answer it. But the origin story of Dubb is when I found myself in a department where I was assisting a large number of sales reps, and they were having a very hard time getting replies, getting responses. This was an Inc. 5000 company. And we realized that the problem here was not the value offering. It was not the company's offering. It was just this idea that people were getting inundated with messages, that our inboxes were full, that our emails were full, LinkedIn messages were abound in that messaging section, and that there needed to be a way to punch through the noise, to actually build and bring a little bit of humanity to create that connection. And that was the earliest origin story of Dubb, and it's really exciting to see how much it's grown, because that initial thesis has now become really a whole new medium of communicating in business, which is the idea of a video message. So to answer your question on what my favorite calls to action are, it all starts with a simple question. And that question is this: when the other person is in their lives watching this video, what is it that they can feel, they can be inspired to do when they're watching a video of me? What is that call to action? What is that thing that they should or could do? So for example, if their goal is to grow their business and I send them a message saying, hey, you should use Dubb to help grow your business, click on the button below for a case study, click on the button below to watch a testimonial, click on the button below to book a time in my calendar so I can give you a demo. So if I root myself in their perspective to understand what their goal is, what they're trying to attain and accomplish, the CTA sort of just writes itself. So typically, call case studies, testimonials, book a time in my calendar.
I actually have the domain Book Russ if you want to reach out to me anytime.
There it is, bookruss.com. Love it.
Bookruss.com. Darius, thank you for the explanation on landing pages and the techniques. I want to make sure that you're recognized for the value that you deliver, and also remind people that you have classes every day, every weekday at 10 a.m. and you bring lots of nuggets of knowledge and wisdom, and also some of the trends that are taking place. You see trends all the time, and you can see in the analytics about what is taking place in the community. And I just love the fact that you guys are so willing to give back, so willing to share. And some of the things that you're doing, Ruben, with Rob and the Rev, what is it called?
Rev Show on YouTube.
Yeah. If you're not following the Rev Show, go discover it. And even if you're not in a sales role, you're typically in a support role or a community role or some reason to engage. And Dubb is the most effective way to create engagement, build relationships, and actually create follow-ups. And like they say, fortune is in the follow-up.
Absolutely.
So I want to shift gears a little bit and go to the next session that we're going to talk about is campaigns. Now, I want to preface this with saying that campaigns are an advanced feature. However, in my 6-day mini course, I actually use Dubb to deliver the Dubb course.
Nice.
So it's the reason I'm able to do that is because I can utilize campaigns to create an email follow-up sequence that allows people to not receive a whole bunch of stuff all at once and then receive overwhelm, decision fatigue, and all of those things that go along with it. And if you can use this to your advantage in your business to teach something, to deliver some education and value to your community, and make sure that you put this in place and position it as the authority to build visibility and brand yourself as the go-to location. And then by using that drip campaign, you can actually be showing up on a regular basis so people actually know who you are and how you help. And I think that's important. And tagging on what you had already said in the engagement process, Ruben. Campaign basics. Maybe you could share a couple of campaign basics, and then we'll dive into outreach and follow up briefly, Darius, because I think it's important for people to really understand the basics and the structure and how to think through this stuff.
Exactly. So there's really two different things. One's going to come up next, which is going to be automation, which is going to be the series of automatic emails. For campaigns specifically in the Dubb setting, campaigns is referring to a single bulk send. So one email, one text message to a list of people at once. And this is going to be really valuable. Now, a lot of people make the mistake is they'll say, oh, I'll just send a big bulk email to this list I just purchased. Now, is there a possibility of that being effective? Yes, but is there also a lot of possibility of getting marked as spam and a lot of other negative things and just going to junk and stuff? Yes. So campaigns are not like a random spam tool, right? Don't be a spammer. So there are purposes of campaigns for bulk sending. Let's say you're working on one specific account. You have several people, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 20 people at an organization or in a list in an audience, right? You have a subscriber list. You have a specific group of people that you're trying to communicate with. Maybe it's past clients, but it has a specific purpose, and it's not just like a cold campaign. That's what we're referring to here. Cold campaigns are a thing. It's just a little bit longer discussion because there's some things you need to do to protect yourself and your reputation. So in this idea is we have an account we're after. And now we can take 10, 15 people at once and send them like a mail merge where it's a personalized message, subject, body for each of the people that receive that. And it's going to track those results individually. So for like text messages, if you want to send one text message to 20, 50 people, whatever that group, it would be done using a campaign. That way you're not individually sending 20 text messages on your cell phone. You're using the service to do a bulk text message or email campaign. So it's multiple messages at once, each personalized, and then you're going to also get the individualized tracking. So one message sent to 50 people, you're going to get however many different reports based on who viewed, clicked, and watched. So the campaign feature is designed to engage your audience's in bulk. Like if you are a real estate agent and you have a past client database, right? You
Yep.
need to stay top of mind with these people. You need to regularly communicate with them so that they remember, oh, hey, yeah, I need your stuff. I need to talk to you. You're the real estate person. For any business that we're in where it's potentially recurring or we have renewals or anything like that, it's essential to stay top of mind, and campaigns are the way to do that. One way to do that.
I think it's really important also to mention that it doesn't have to be extremely complex. It can be very simple in a process. 6 videos in a day. Each has a landing page and a call to action unique to that topic. And what I've created, I think, is a workflow that is incredibly powerful. And the thing that I thought about is from content creation perspective, or say, for instance, a company that's launching a product or an announcement. They already have a list of clients. They already have a combination of emails that they can actually use because they've already engaged with those emails. They're already clients, they're already customers, but it's a new product launch. So then you can actually take that product launch, build on that product launch, and then continue to be reaching out to these individuals on a personalized basis, more personalized, yet it's not sitting down and writing one email per person every time. So I think that's key to understand, that you don't have to use the complex. You can keep it simple, and there's ways to do that. And if you want to learn more, there's resources available. You can go to Love My Dubb. I'm happy to help and build a strategy. Book a strategy call with me if you want to go through this in a simple place, talk about your solutions. And also, like I said, Darius is out there every day, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, answering questions for anyone that needs assistance and support during that time frame.
Absolutely.
The next one I want to go to, looks like we lost Ruben, but I want to go to automation and make sure that we have an opportunity to share the automation piece.
Right.
Because coupled with campaigns, automation can actually do some very powerful things. And I kind of want to talk a little bit about how that fits together and what makes it work, Darius.
There is what is the salesperson's least favorite thing to do? Follow up. It's one of the least favorite things. And so automation is this concept, this ability to automatically perform actions like sending a follow-up email or creating a task that reminds you to follow up, things like that. So this idea, this concept of automation is the ability to automatically send messages, automatically create deals, assign tasks, set up reminders. So with automations, we can potentially automate many of the activities that we'll find ourselves doing on a day-to-day basis, like sending emails, text messages, or creating deals and tasks and things like that. So this is how automation works on Dubb. There's actually 2 ways. One is Dubb actually has built-in automations, which if you sign up to Dubb, you will experience yourself. You will receive some emails and some text messages. Those are all coming from our automated system. So we don't use other technology. We drink our own Kool-Aid, practice what we preach here. And so we do that to set an example of what you guys can turn on in your own business today. So when we're sleeping, when we're taking our after 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, we're done for the day, we're still sending emails and text messages to our leads that show up on the weekends or when we take a break or whatever. These things are still happening in our sleep when we're all resting. And this is the ability to grow and to scale your business when you need to take time off, or even better, things that you could not simply do yourself. Even if you were awake and had all the time in the world to send these types of messages, it's the ability to multiply your productivity, to get yourself out there at times and opportunities when you couldn't yourself.
The other thing that I want to remind people of, and this is incredibly important, is that there are a number of tools that work with automation. And the reason I'm scaling all my automation and campaigns into Dubb is because of the leverage with the video and the ability and opportunity to use those in campaigns and automation. And once you build a library of content and you can actually have call to action, you can have some products like testimonials like Ruben was talking about, all of these elements can be combined into an amazing opportunity to utilize those. And then also the reality is in that sequence, you can change tags and you can start other automation based on what people do within that goal. So I just want to remind people, and I know, Darius, thank you so much for all of the value that you bring to the community, all of the tips, techniques, and everything that you deliver on a regular basis. I know that I may have some.
Say one other thing there. Sorry, Russ.
Sure.
With the automation piece, we mentioned other technologies. If anyone already has a system that they're using, Dubb is designed to integrate seamlessly with any other piece of technology that's out there. So if you have HubSpot or ActiveCampaign or any system you're already using, Dubb is going to be able to integrate, send, and track videos through the systems you're already using. And if you don't already have one, you're welcome home.
And that's the beauty of Dubb, is its integration is incredibly powerful. It's incredibly powerful. And I've actually changed systems based on the availability of Dubb to integrate.
You're not the only one. Yeah, many people have dumped their tools and found a home with us. We're happy to have them. So.
Well, one of the things that we're always trying to do is to make technology accessible. This is a big part of our mantra. And when you think about automation, it's intimidating for a lot of people. They think automation, that's like those settings on our phones that we never go to. If you go to the accessibility function in your iPhone or your Android, there is a menu and a submenu and a submenu for every single feature you can imagine. It's unbelievable. You can dictate to your phone. You can do tapping of the Apple icon on the back. Nobody knows about those features. Those features help people. In fact, when I record my videos now on my phone, I actually say tap record, or actually I programmed it to say click record. So I say click record, which is the title of my book. So it's a little self-serving here. But I can actually go to my phone, and I could probably demo this for you, but it's very cool. I say click record and it starts recording. So what am I trying to say here? What I'm trying to say is that making technology accessible is incredibly important to allowing technology to make our lives easier. It's a big part of what we do, and automation is exactly that. If you're in sales, even if you're outside of sales, even if you're doing general follow-up, you're trying to just make connections with people, creating a drip sequence, getting someone to get a little email nudge or an SMS nudge after they perform some action, getting a task or a deal to be created, like Darius mentioned. Even if they click on a call to action to maybe get a ping, a task. Hey, such and such person clicked on a call to action, but maybe they didn't actually book a time. It's a great chance to pick up the phone, to send them an email. So automation, in my opinion, is the final frontier of sales, but it does not have to be intimidating. It can be actually very accessible.
And if you want to tap your toes in the water of automation and campaigns, reach out to us.
Yeah.
Let us know that you have a thought, you have an idea, and you want to see if it can be developed a little further. Because until you ask the question, you really don't know, and you don't recognize what is possible. Because I have discovered along my journey in Dubb that there are so many things that you just have to think through the process a little bit, and then you discover a way to remove the friction. As Ruben was saying, remove the friction from the task and the availability to help people in their goals and solve problems. As long as you're solving problems and adding value, you have a solution that will help you get there. And so, Darius, Ruben, I really thank both of you for your time, effort, and energy. And I really look forward to future conversations like this to help the community learn about Dubb. And my goal is to allow everyone in the world to know about Dubb eventually. We share that mutual goal.
Use it. Yeah, I want to help them all use it. So I'll remove the friction. Come talk to me any weekday.
And here's my demo on how easy it is to use automation on your iPhone. Hey Siri, click record. Okay. Oh, there it is. There it is.
There it is. Okay. We just had to look at it.
Click record.
There you go.
There it is. This took some time to set up. It's the same thing that we have to do. We have to set up our automation. And then once it's set up, we say things, we do things, we click things, other people click things, and then the magic happens. And if you need help, call Russ, bookruss.com.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Russ, what is your partner link? We should share that in the comments.
Yeah, I will share it in the comments. I will share it on the calls to action and put it out there for the world to see.
Yeah.
me, Ruben. I'm accessible, so they track me down. I'll be available.
Yeah.
We have the public chat in the 10 a.m. and then if you need one-to-one, Russ has got your back.
Fantastic. Appreciate you guys.
Right on.
And just a quick final note. It seems like the fire has been mitigated. Gratitude to the brave souls in the fire department that are keeping us safe